Welcome to Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance in San Diego County. Today we are joined by Jerry Sanders. You know him well. He is now president and CEO of the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce. A busy election season indeed, sir.
Well, it is very busy.
And I want to get a sense, how does the chamber decide whether to get involved, whether to endorse in a certain race, be it a measure or with candidates?
Well, you know what we really do is we look for how it affects business, the race, so we don't get involved in every race. We also look at the candidates, and we're looking for business-friendly candidates.
Sure.
Candidates that understand business and are going to help create jobs by creating a good business climate.
So it's interesting. For example, on the candidate side, you've endorsed 2 people running for Congress, only 1 person running for the state legislature, and it looks like 6 running for supervisor or city council. So you really limited your endorsements.
Well, we try to be very targeted,
right,
and we try to hit races that we think will have a big impact. But we're also bipartisan.
Yes,
so
you are.
As you mentioned,
right,
we've endorsed 2 candidates for Congress, one a Democrat and
That's
one
right.
a Republican.
That's right. So it's going to be a crowded ballot, you know that. And there are 17 state measures on the ballot. Just in San Diego County, it looks like there are 13, 14 measures that are within the county. There are local measures as well, various cities. I want to focus, though, if I may, on 2 county measures, with your permission. And I want to talk about the first one, which is Measure A. It is a half-cent sales tax that would be dedicated for transportation funding, 40-year sunset, raising, a good chunk of change, about $300 million. Is that right?
Well, it's several billion dollars, actually.
Okay, I see. Got it. Okay, needs a 2/3 vote.
Right, and 2/3 vote is always difficult,
right,
as we know in a couple of the measures. But the SANDAG ballot initiatives in the past have been able to get the 2/3 because they can show communities all over San Diego how it benefits them in the transportation, both in rail, in highways, and all the other things that are important, including the environmental issues on this year's plate with the SANDAG measure. So we think it's a leveraging mechanism. If the county has the money, then the state and federal governments will frequently double or even triple the amount that they give.
And that's really key, as I understand it. If a county is what's known as a self-help county,
right,
that automatically allows it to apply for certain federal grants or state grants. If it's not self-help, they can't apply.
If you're not self-help, you go to the end of the crowd.
Right.
For instance, SANDAG just went back, Chairman Roberts and Gary Gallegos, and got $1 billion grant from the federal government for the Mid-Coast trolley line. That fully funds that trolley line. So if we can get this next half cent, we can leverage that to do the purple trolley line, which will go up to Serrano Mesa, really to the job centers, and also expand a lot of the other infrastructure around San Diego. And while the chamber doesn't traditionally endorse tax increases, we thought this was a smart one that brings a lot of additional money into the county.
And let's talk about what else is on the ballot in terms of revenue, because that can present some challenges. You have Measure A in San Diego, which is a half-cent sales tax. Chula Vista, the second largest city in the county, has their own half-cent sales tax that they're pushing. City of Del Mar, a smaller city, but they also have a sales tax measure on the ballot. Then when you look at the state measures, you have the Prop 30 extension, which is on the wealthiest, but the sales tax measure that had been in place for 4 years, that's going away. You have the cigarette tax, which is on the ballot. Lots of revenue measures. The school construction bond on the ballot. How do you compete?
Well, I think you have to compete with the messaging, and people have to see how it affects them. And that's the reason SANDAG has been so successful in the past. They're able to show exactly where that money's going to go. And then they have an independent oversight committee which actually monitors to make sure that that money is spent in the way that we told the voters it would be spent. So I think that they have a much better model. The other one, and it's not on this year's ballot, but the San Diego Community College has been very successful because they're very targeted. They let people know exactly what's going to happen with it, and then they do what they say they're going to do.
2/3 is a tough hurdle, as you know.
2/3 is very difficult.
Right. You may remember in Los Angeles County in 2008, they had passed a transportation tax. They went back in 2012 and missed 2/3 by like 0.5%. They're going back again,
Right.
but how do you get that magic 66.66?
Well, you know, a lot of it's going to be micro-targeting.
Right.
So they're going to be getting information out to various communities about exactly how they're going to benefit from this. Plus, the cities all benefit. They get a large amount that they can use for local infrastructure, roads and bridges and highways. So, you know, I think that they've got a good shot at it. And the polling looks pretty good right now.
I want to talk about Measure C. That is another measure. It is the Downtown Stadium Initiative, initially presented by the Chargers, San Diego's football team. Go
Right.
Chargers. And this initiative continues to be controversial, a lot of heated passion on both sides of the issue. Qualcomm Stadium, maybe I could say it this way, has seen better days. Is that fair? Is that fair?
It's seen much better
Yeah,
days.
seen better days. And so there's a move to kind of revamp, revitalize the Petco Stadium area. Where is the chamber on Measure C?
Well, we had an ad hoc committee. We spent about 7 hours interviewing both sides, both pro and con. Listened to the entire Chargers measure and had Goldman Sachs come out and tell us about it.
That's for real.
Right. And then we also had their group that actually analyzed it from a convention center state of point of view, and very compelling what they had to say.
It's interesting you mentioned that because the no side keeps on hitting on Comic-Con, which is kind of San Diego's signature entertainment convention. And they keep on suggesting that if this Measure C passes, somehow San Diego would lose Comic-Con. Is that,
Well,
what's
you know,
your
I
sense?
think that that's something they're throwing out there. Comic-Con has wanted to stay in San Diego. They brand all of downtown, having a new convention space, just you know, literally blocks away, gives them another venue. So I don't see that as really being a big issue.
What about the taxing element of it? As I understand it, there would be essentially 6 cents added to hotel bills. Is that right? Am I saying it correctly?
It's actually a little bit
Help
different
me.
than that. So there was already a 2% add-on
Right.
for the tourism marketing.
Right,
district.
yes, that's true.
And then they're adding another 3%, I
Okay.
believe. So it's about a 5%. And that's all coming from tourists, is what
Right.
it amounts to. So 2% goes to the TMD permanently, and it makes that legal. About 2%, 1% goes to the city in the long term, and the rest of it's used for the convention center.
And is the money dedicated to the convention center?
It is, and so no taxpayer dollars are going to go into the stadium. Can't come out of the general fund by the agreement that they have
Right.
with JPA. All that
Right.
money goes into the Joint Powers Authority, which will then disperse it back by agreement.
So your friends on the opposition are saying, well, this money may be fine, but what if it's not enough? We're going to have to dip into the general fund. How do you respond to your
Well,
friends?
so first of all, you can't dip into the general fund by the measure. Secondly, the Chargers have already said if it's going to take any money more than what comes out of this, then we'll simply back off and figure it out again. There's also dedicated streams of money coming out of that, and they stress test it against the worst recession we ever had.
Goldman Sachs.
That's
Right.
and you
Right.
still come out ahead over a long period of time. So it's, you know, you can throw arguments out about everything you want. Nobody wanted the original convention center built. It took several tries to
Right.
get that, and that's the golden goose right now. And then we're just trying to make sure that the east end of downtown gets redeveloped, that we get more convention center space. It doesn't preclude
Right.
a contiguous space later on. In fact, the funding would be in this measure.
You need 50% or 2/3?
Need 2/3 probably, and once again,
Oh,
that's a
right. That's
tough
an
thing.
issue. Let's discuss in our final moments. What are you hearing? You're out and about. You're on
Well,
the streets.
you know, I think that people are excited about a downtown convention
Right.
center and a downtown stadium. Naturally, it's a tough sell to some people, but when they see visitors are going to be paying for those facilities, I think it makes it much easier to sell.
His name is Jerry Sanders. He is the president and CEO of the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce. Don't forget, Election Day, November 8th. A lot of important measures on the ballot in San Diego County as well as throughout the state of California. My name is Brad Pomerance, Local Edition.